It's 33 burning MCU questions. Jaded fanboy, Wuuren, the comics pals are represented here by Tyler and by Sean. Where is the ceiling on Rhodey / War Machine / Armor Wars? Where do we go? I know that this is a supporting character, and we've seen, as I've mentioned multiple times today, his position. He's down here. Every time we've seen him, it's in the minimalist role. He's never been even the second highest on the cast. You know, when the credits roll and they say cast, it's always Tony, and then maybe his villain is next, maybe Pepper Potts, Happy, and then it's Rhodey.
Well, chill. Remember, and even though I think Iron Man 2 was I think it was a pretty decent movie. He played a major role in that movie.
I would disagree. I would think even Natasha had a better role.
He played a significant role, but I wouldn't say a major role.
Would you say number 2, Wuuren?
I think so.
Okay. All right, that's on you to say. But to me, I see the ceiling, and I feel, especially knowing the finite amount of tolerance that this studio has proven and shown me that they have for characters who are black. Sort of iffy. Let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
That it's going to a sidekick rolled character, the movie of Armor Wars. If you really wanted to do great things in the black field, Blue Marvel's out there, and he's a primary character within his franchise. Monica Rambeau, the Photon character, she's not second to Carol or anything like that. She's her own character. You could have put the resources in these characters. Luke Cage, do something with him. War Machine, he's got the ceiling, as the question is asking. That's where his ceiling is. And so no matter how much progression this guy gets, he'll be Iron Man Jr. at the next MCU when this cinematic universe comes to an end, whether that's at Secret Wars or whether that's 10 years from now. They're going to reboot and they're going to go, oh, what are we doing with War Machine? Yeah, he can be in the Iron Man movie. So I don't like seeing resources go there. That's where the ceiling is to me. Does anyone want to take this question now?
I definitely do.
Okay, Sean.
Because I think you are correct. What's telling is that Armor Wars was going to be a TV show first. That was how it was originally booked. And then within the last year, it was decided that they were going to make the shift to film. That tells me that they did not have confidence in this character or this story from the jump. So that's very concerning.
I would feel like going from movie to series is a vote of non-confidence.
Well, the reason I get what you mean. The reason why I say that is because they started with a lack of confidence. If they started full steam ahead and say, yeah, this is the story we have to tell, and it has to be big picture on screen, like what they're doing with Sam and giving him Cap 4, to me, that shows a vote of confidence in Sam. The fact that we're not talking about Sam, but we're talking about Rhodey, even though they've both been supporting characters, I think that says it all.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree in the sense that there's now, like, who has... In the sense, you're using Captain America, which I've always said that Captain America is a mantle. I don't know, like, Pickle, God rest your soul. You know, you're still alive, but Captain America has had plenty of people and is more well-known than War Machine. Rhodey has always been, there's only been one War Machine outside of the one time when Frank Castle had War Machine's armor. But there's only ever been one War Machine. There's never been multiple War Machines, you know what I mean? And then again, when I'm going to compare Sam to, say, Rhodey, you guys said he didn't have enough screen time. Okay, fair enough, but Sam got a show and now is getting a movie. Yeah. So to me, that says that that they see, first of all, on a budget level, you can't do Armor Wars as a series. Why? Because too much CGI. It's too expensive. I mean, the armor and everything that's going to take involvement, that'd be way too expensive to do as a series. It wouldn't be worth it. Second of all, I think you have more wiggle room to bring in more characters, which might ruin it, might not, who knows. But I think in regards to War Machine getting his own movie, I think this is a great thing. I think he's gonna rise up, and he has a high ceiling. Like, cause we're missing our, like, Ironheart is not gonna replace. She's nothing. Even in the comics, she's nothing like Tony. She's not. And right now, we don't have a guy in a suit. Spider-Man no longer has that suit he has his own,
So because there's a space for a suit fighter, War Machine's fine.
I mean, yeah, and I mean he's War Machine has a different has a military mindset, and I think that fits with
But it doesn't have a military leg set.
but like that's my thinking. I think his ceiling is high. I'm not saying it's a 10. I would say if I had to give it I say a 7 because there's
Okay,
potential.
but what about my point about you said give it a 7, but what about my point against there's only a limited amount of black movies we're gonna get from the studio, and for one of them to be burned on this character when it could be on someone who could be introduced, and then the next Jaded, why?
Well, I was just saying is that there wasn't faith in Black Panther. I'm sorry, but the ceiling is going to be cemented in the Armor Wars movie.
No, wait. There wasn't faith in Black Panther, and let's just assume that Chadwick Boseman hadn't died and they hadn't gone this direction, and we just got like a more progression for the character. At least he's a primary character within his franchise.
Yeah,
his sub-franchise.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying if Black Panther only made 500 million at the box office, then there wouldn't have been a second movie. I'm thinking that the ceiling will be the Armor Wars movie. If the Armor Wars movie only makes 500-600 million, they might go, now it's worth it. But if, again, I'm not saying it will, but if by some fluke Armor Wars makes $1 billion, they're going to go, well, hey, let's push,
Okay. They push him, and then there will be an Armor Wars sequel or Rhodey sequel.
Right.
Then the MCU reboots because, he's 56, right? Damn.
Right.
Eventually he'll be too old to play a superhero.
Right.
That'll be it.
New
universe. Do they go, let's do a Tony Stark movie and let's do a Rhodey movie? No. They'll say, let's squeeze Rhodey back in Tony's movie. The progression he was be doing, climbing up the ranks with these successful 2 Armor Wars movies that we're talking about, they will be for naught. They go back down.
And I don't want that.
Yeah.
But they've already recasted them, so why can't they just do it a third time or a second time?
The thing is, like, you say that, but like, if you're gonna go with that angle, right, Chill? I don't see Sam Wilson staying Captain America. I expect the blonde, blue-haired guy to be back Captain America. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude
just
about that.
Just because I didn't interrupt Sean when he said it, I also think that Sam Wilson going back Captain America is like a temporary thing that's gonna bring him back down. If being called Cap is your promotion, it's gonna be pulled just like comics. Sean?
Can I make a point though? We're talking about Captain America, we're talking about Black Panther, and then we're talking about Armor Wars. The character's name is not even in the movie.
Oh no, I agree.
Like this is not. There's no debate there. His name's not even in the movie.
But Sean, you're talking about the general audience who doesn't care.
I think they care.
No, they don't.
I think they could definitely see. Oh, this guy's not even worthy enough to have his name there.
Really?
And they can recognize the status.
Wakanda Forever made how much money?
It's called Black Panther.
Yeah, but it doesn't even have It doesn't even have T'Challa in it. Audience doesn't care.
But it's Black Panther.
Yeah, so
people showed up for that Black Panther moniker, and it's a sequel. It's not a first movie. People are well versed in that world.
The thing about it is, Sean, is that I think Armor Wars is going to be bigger than it seems because you got to remember you got Stiltman who played a role in the Armor Wars. You got Beetle that played a role in the Armor Wars. Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy? Like Stiltman took some of Tony's armor during that thing. There's a lot of characters that come from Armor Wars that will probably potentially start weaving into other branches. So Armor Wars is actually going to be an important movie. And they're bringing back Justin Hammer, which is
Armor Wars.
What do you mean? Whoa!
The Armor Wars movie alone. The Armor Wars movie alone can literally introduce a half dozen new supervillains alone, all tech-based.
But what does that have to do with whether or not War Machine is as a high ceiling? Because we're talking about all these other characters that might be in it. It doesn't have his name in it. How is that a marker of confidence on Marvel's end or the audience's end? Of course it matters. The ceiling is based on mutual confidence.
I think that Armor Wars is War Machine's ceiling in the MCU.
I think it'll establish the ceiling. Like if Armor Wars doesn't do any good or doesn't do very well, they're going to go, apparently nobody cares about Rhodey anyway.
They're not going to use a movie that is not even titled after the main character to launch a main character who's what 56 years old.
Yeah.
Even if they recast him, it doesn't make sense to then recast him in that movie. You know what I mean?
You think the title of the movie is that much of a relevant?
It's not relevant.
Is that a serious question?
Yeah, it's absolutely
Of course
a serious
it is.
question.
Not relevant.
Yeah.
No.
How could it not be relevant that the character who is not a main character ever before, their name is not in the movie where they are making their main character debut? That's asinine to me.
That's
How could that be the case?
That's 11. That's a 12.
Because War Machine has never been a main character, though.
That's the point, my friend.
Right.
That's
In
exactly
In the comics
the point.
too, he's always been second.
But that's why I reiterated. I said that no matter, like, I think Rhodey has been killed, cloned, and come back, but it's always been Rhodey. It's never been someone else to play War Machine.
And still no one cares.
The
Yeah,
movie.
we're asking about the ceiling, Warren. The ceiling of War Machine, comic book wise, is War Machine a top 10 comic character? Is he the Fantastic Four? Is he?
No,
Is he
no,
top
not
20?
no.
Is he top 30?
I agree with that, but I'm saying the idea of pushing the movie Armor Wars isn't to push Rhodey. It's to push the idea that it's a movie about the Armor Wars. Hold on. It's to push the movie about Armor Wars, about the thing. But it's going to star Rhodey.
War Machine.
It's going to star War Machine. Now,
Hey, The Marvels is also a movie without her name in it too. That's a good point.
Saying if the movie does successfully, then they're going to go, oh, okay. Obviously, people are actually liking Rhodey. They actually care. But as for a ceiling, I agree. He's going to be like maybe Ant-Man level ceiling where he's never going to be a top tier. Like he's never going to be a Spider-Man.
Right.
But if the movie actually succeeds and does well, I don't see the MCU with Disney going, oh, okay, well, fine. Apparently the movie made $900 million, but there's no point in making a sequel because he's a second tier character.
Kinda. And he's 36.
I'm saying that I don't even think that it's gonna sniff 900 million.
Oh, come on.
No, I agree.
And the budget won't be high either. They'll give it like
budget,
the smallest budget, smallest marketing, the appropriate budget in marketing too.
Look,
They couldn't even give this time of day at D23.
Yeah,
They had to be
come on.
after the
They
fact.
hadn't decided yet.
the people care, and by the people I mean the audience. The audience cares about what they want us to care about. If they push something, we're going to get into it. War Machine is not a character that they have invested into, therefore we are not invested. And when you tell me his debut film as the main character doesn't even have his name in it, you said all you needed to say. And I want to touch on the Marvels, because the Marvels is, yes, it doesn't have any specific character's name in it, but we've seen a show with Kamala Khan as the main character. We've seen a movie with Captain Marvel as the main character. Yeah. And this is Photon's, big debut. So I think that makes sense in that context, because it's not about any particular person, but 2 out of 3 of them are already stars.
But Sean, if we're going to go with that, then people are only going to go see Captain America New World Order because it's Captain America. It's not because it's Sam Wilson, because nobody cared about Falcon. Let's be honest about that.
Oh, I disagree.
That's not true at all. Sam Wilson is probably Sam Wilson's cachet and stock is probably one of the few that rose due to the MCU. He's a way bigger character than he was.
So was Scott Lang. I mean, take a look at Ant-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not disagreeing. Who's disagreeing with that? Absolutely.
Everyone's stock rises.
But I'm saying, like, Sam Wilson went from being just Cap's partner to the mainline Captain America that people care about and are excited about. That is a result of the work they have done with that character. What work have they done with War Machine to qualify an elevation of that type? None.
But they haven't. Okay, but they didn't do that with Ant-Man either. But that ended up growing.
He has his own movies. Right. What are you talking about? But that's where he debuted. He debuted right there in his own starring movie.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying even though it didn't do as successful as the other MCU projects, they still are making a third Ant-Man movie.
It did because of its budget. It actually did.
Yeah, Ant-Man movies are a success, and Ant-Man is very popular.
But Sean, to kind of go on your.
I didn't even bring Ant-Man up. You did.
The thing is that you're saying that, right? But at the end of the day, War Machine will always be War Machine, but Sam Wilson's gonna come back. It's not gonna stay Captain America at the end of the day. So War Machine will always be there. Like I mean, like what I'm saying is Sam Wilson will be Falcon again. He's not gonna stay Captain America. Rhodey will always be War Machine. They're just marketing.
Talk to me when there's a movie with the name War Machine in the title.
I'm not disagreeing with
that.
You.
Might be the second one. That might be the next.
I'm just saying
Let's
that
then
we're
talk to me then. Right now, his ceiling is low.
I agree. I agree. I'm saying his ceiling could increase depending on how successful the movie is. So I'm saying his ceiling is ambiguous until the movie comes out.
Cho, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
What was the question that we were supposed to answer?
Where's the ceiling on Rhodey, War Machine, Armor Wars? Where's the ceiling on all that?
Thank you.
Okay, well, if I'm gonna add, I think the ceiling is high because his movie can like Jay had said can propel other villains and other teams, other things to front. That's why his movie is actually important upcoming. So yes,
Armor
I think
Wars Forever,
high.
Armor Wars Endgame.
You're also positing that Marvel cares about investing in villains when they've done it with one.
Well, they did. They invested in Zemo.
I mean, they kind of decided after this movie and Captain America Civil War that, we're doing series now. Let's use one of the villains. So they didn't really invest.
No, but Zemo had more screen time than even Sam a little bit for the most part. And Zemo was more popular than
in Falcon Winter Soldier.
Hell yeah, Zemo was more popular.
He had more screen time than Sam Wilson. That's what you said.
No, I meant in the sense that for a villain, he had a lot of screen time.
I agree with that, but not more than Sam Wilson.
That's not what I meant. I meant for a villain, he had more screen time, and he became even more popular with that. And because they saw Zemo, they was like, well, we should get this Thunderbolts movie. We love, what's his name? Daniel Bruhl's Zemo. Like, Zemo became really popular. A character that just was like, I wouldn't say a throwaway in Civil War because people even talked about it then, but Zemo became... So villains can become popular. Like, hell, his dance is a meme for a reason.
Yeah. War Machine had solo titles in the 90s.
Okay. But not
what's the point, though? You're telling me about these solo titles in the 90s. Why weren't there solos in the aughts, in the 10s, in the 20s? Because War Machine is in a place. He doesn't even make his suit. Like, the Iron Man does. He doesn't even make it.
His biggest defining factor for years in comic books was that he was Carol Danvers' boyfriend.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's the last few, yeah.
Yeah.
Gray says Rhodey might end up in the Iron Man suit in the end. That's probably why the title is Armor Wars.
Well,
it's a fight for Tony's legacy. Yes. There's also a legendary story that was called Armor Wars.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, Rhodey was Iron Man for a couple of years in the comics. I mean, Rhodey was Iron Man. He was in the
Sam was Captain America. We know that's not going to last.
So I'm saying, I'm saying is that if you're going to go by the fact that, well, hey, since Sam Wilson was Captain America in the comic books and we're using that as a basis, well, then, you can do that.
Shuri was Black Panther in the comics for 6 issues.
And you can have Shuri be Black Panther. Well, guess what? You could easily have it that, well, we're basing it the fact that for 2 or 3 years, Rhodey was Iron Man.
Yeah, that's the precedent set.
But in the comics, Sam Wilson became a very, very prominent character after becoming Captain America. And then War Machine.
I'm not challenging that. Yes, I agree. I'm just saying that precedent has been set. So there's nothing to stop the MCU from going, okay, we'll just temporarily have Rhodey be the next Iron Man.
But isn't there also another comic book precedence that they're ignoring? Sales for Steve Rogers' Captain America book, The Sentinel of Liberty, are higher than sales for Symbol of Truth. The movies are going to repeat the decision that they made in the comic books, which is kind of mantle swap and put people in positions with the names of prior successful characters, and they never really lasted or were profitable or were because if they were profitable, they'd have lasted. It just feels like a mistake that they're making.
So you think that? Well, I don't know, because at the same,
Hawkeye, every single one that is replacing or in the position of the prior, this is useless. Give me new.
It's not useless because now you could not sell a comic book with Sam Wilson as Falcon on the level that you can with Sam Wilson as Cap. Even if it's selling less than Cap's book, it's selling way more than it would if it was called Falcon. So it's an elevation, and that does help. Just because Wolverine, James Howlett or whatever, is back in that mantle doesn't mean that Laura Kinney's time as X-23, which she still is, was unsuccessful. It doesn't mean it was unsuccessful. Now they have two characters they can sell as Wolverine. Same with the Flash and all the different Flashes.
I reject
Same with
X-23s. I reject the Flashes and the Green Lanterns, many of them. I like one character having one identity, and then no one else shares it. If you care so much about the whole
DC universe, then
I reject the whole DC universe.
Yeah. as a
They're
fan,
not the publisher of the year.
As a fan, we gave DC Publisher of the Year. As a fan, Chill, I agree with that. I'm very traditional in that sense. But from a numbers standpoint and an elevation standpoint, it just works. It has worked for the last 15 years.
Like to go back to the, like you said, the original question. Just on the question alone, as a ceiling, yes, I think Armor Wars. I'm not disagreeing with you, Sean. I know that Rhodey is not like the main character, but for what the movie will propel the next set of sort of heroes and villains to be released, Armor Wars to me has a high ceiling for it, and with it having a backstory of Iron Man behind it, that's why I think it could. I could see the movie making a decent 750. That's not bad for a War Machine movie.
Me too.
How's this? It has a low ceiling, but it has a good chance and opportunity to break that low ceiling, even temporarily.
I would love to see that. Yeah. I would love to see that.
Black Widow was Yelena's movie, and Multiverse was Wanda's movie. I would disagree with that one there. I believe a younger actor will overtake Rhodey in Armor Wars. Well, Riri Williams,
how old is Terrence Howard?
Oh no!
Too old.
You get him back.
I will still take him back.
He's allegedly retiring from acting.
Oh, okay.
There's no definitive holder of a mantle. Kind of is though. Like the Black Panther mantle, to me, to everyone, it should be this way.
But it should be.
Yeah, it definitely should be this way. Watch what I say. The present of Marvel continuity in comic books, like Peter's bit at 15 years old, and he's in his mid-20s right now. That time period, that's the mantle of Black Panther. That's his role of T'Challa being Black Panther. Other people may have been in there for like a story here and there, but we have not expired past this mantle period of the Black Panther. There's other heroes I could go down the line, but that is my point. Once you're branded as this thing, even if Iron Fist is a mantle, Danny Rand is my guy. Even though Ghost Rider could be other people, I'm with not Danny Ketch. Johnny Blaze.
But that's super subjective, right? I mean,
oh yeah.
Do you ask a Green Lantern fan who Green Lantern is?
Most will tell you Hal. DC will show you Hal because
that's not true.
They just swapped John Stewart into Emerald Knight now. They just kind of like non-Green Lantern find him, didn't they?
Most people who watch the animated series say John Stewart is Green Lantern.
Yeah, because that's the only one they know.
But Flash, the animated series that was called Green Lantern was a Hal movie, Hal-focused thing. Hal has been in the animated movies after the Justice League cartoon that we all enjoyed from like 2001. But aside from that little window where I would say that the most pushed Green Lantern was John Stewart, Hal is clearly the one that the company's been behind and will be behind again. And John Stewart has an obstacle of sharing that name. There's an unneeded uphill battle. Because when I say Green Lantern, and I'm not talking about John Stewart, he's got to fight for that. Emerald Knight is better.
Yeah, but Kyle Rayner still has to fight for. Kyle Rayner has legitimacy. It's the same thing with
Simon Baz, Jessica Cruz,
but
others that I don't know.
Ask a Flash fan who the Flash is.
Yeah,
like that's just not how that works.
That's a mistake of DC.
It's not a mistake of DC. They have 3 characters that they can sell comics for and pump than one. It's just smarter.
But they do. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are 3 characters they can sell instead of one.
I'm saying
and thankfully they have different names.
But instead of there being one Flash, there are 3 or however many, and they can all sell comics instead of just being able to sell comics with the one Flash. And everyone has their favorite. So it makes business sense. And that's how fans feel, clearly.
Yeah,
because this has been going on since the 80s.
I mean, even Impulse had his own title for a while.
But if a person walks into a shop or looks on Amazon's Comixology page and they see Impulse as the title, or they see the Flash as the title, they're going to grab it.
But Tyler, you're making too much sense. You're talking about new customers who want to be enriched into this world.
New customers don't exist in comics.
But see, Chill, that's not what Tyler meant. Tyler's saying that the title Impulse doesn't sell. The title Flash is what sells. And it doesn't matter which one of them is on it unless that person has a preconceived notion about who the Flash is. But depending on your era, you will have a different answer. And that's just the way it is.
Before I started reading comics,
and that's the way it shouldn't be.
Wally West to me.
Because of the TV show?
Cool, because because Barry was dead for my whole life. You know?
Exactly.
No, and that's a mistake of DC. And you disagree with it. That's what we were at a stalemate. We understand our position on this. That was a great question. I might actually make this a individual scene and just clip, cut it out and check it out. Okay, that's me, Chillmonger. Follow me. The Jaded Fanboys got a YouTube channel. Check out Wuuren, Tyler Olson, as well as Sean. They've got the YouTube channel called The Comics Pals. Check them all out. Thanks for coming. We have one more question on 33.
It's Saturday and the time is 1 o'clock. Chillmonger's ready, so the show's about to start. The beat steady, so the flow got a beat too. You like my intro, so I made one just for you. Chillmonger, he be from the north. 33 questions, you got no other choice but to check him out and feel his vibe. He got one of the hottest shows alive.